Today we're going to be diving into the 3 software tools that I use in DeFi on a daily basis, including Metrix Finance, DeFi Llama, and Crystal. Now today I'm going to be fully transparent with my process. I'm going to show you my exact reasons for using each tool, and we're going to dive straight into today's video. If you guys find anything valuable today, make sure to drop a like, subscribe, notifications turned on, and we'll go from there basically. But first things first, obviously, as you guys probably already know by now, Metrix Finance is my go-to, mainly because I am the founder of the software, but we built it in a way where it makes it easy for me and my team to use, basically. And we've built it in a way where we can capture the data that we need as liquidity providers to find pools, simulate results, build out portfolios, and even track performance. So we're going to dive into that for starters. I use Metrix Finance for everything I just mentioned. When it comes to finding pools, DeFi Llama and Metrix Finance are both great options. But if you're looking for concentrated liquidity pools, and I do say concentrated liquidity pools because that is what Metrix Finance is limited to right now, which, keep in mind, a lot of DeFi is starting to move towards concentrated liquidity. So that's one thing that you just need to have in the back of your head. A lot of liquidity pools are starting to turn into concentrated liquidity pools because that is the most capital efficient model. So that being said, if you're looking specifically for those types of pools on these supported exchanges and these supported networks, your go-to should be Metrix Finance because it's very, very good. It's going to show you actual APRs based on proven data. It's not going to do any crazy ranges or anything like that. And it's going to show you all the information you need to know. DeFi Llama is great if you're looking for just broad scope. Now, even when I'm browsing for yields on DeFi Llama, under the yield section, as you can see, we have Lido, EtherFi, Aave, Sky Lending, Rocket Pool, Jito, all these places that Metrix Finance does not support, okay? Because Metrix Finance is concentrated liquidity. These are all non-concentrated liquidity opportunities. I'm going to use DeFi Llama to search for render, and then from there, it's going to tell me, hey, you could go on Orca, you could go over on Radium. And when I go over to those platforms, I'm ultimately going to end up using Metrix Finance to determine actual APRs because this APY is just strictly based on a range of plus 25%, minus 25%. Which, Metrix Finance is over here on the Discover page as well. But when you actually dive into something like ETHUSDC, you're able to start to simulate results like, hey, what if I deployed $10,000, right? What if I use this price range? You set your own price range. And you're like, okay, well, we're using an average daily volume amount of 295 million, but recently we're only doing like 200 million. So then we can become composable in calculating this APR. And we could say we want to use the past 14 days of data, which average us out to $200 million per day in volume. We could be like, okay, well, what if instead of just using the current price to calculate this, right, where there's maybe 200 grand of liquidity, we use the peak price where there's 440 grand of liquidity right over here. Well, that's going to give us a 24% APR compared to a 54% APR. So we can be robust with our calculations. What if we use the average across this range right here? We can select that as well, and we can be composable with our calculations, which is important when you're diving deeper into DeFi. Building portfolios, this is kind of just saving out your simulations, and then tracking performance you can do right over here on this page. Just simply paste in your wallet address and you're good to go. So we're looking at this random wallet address over here with about 10 grand, has $6 in earnings, is doing 144% APR. And Solana to USDC. Pretty good. It's going to show all these details. And I do want to be fully transparent. There's a free version of Metrix Finance. It is limited. And then there's also a pro version, which is $40 per month. And we do have over 1,000 subscribers to our pro plan. And there is going to be a link right below this video if you guys do want to extend your trial from 7 days to 14 days. Just make sure if you aren't interested in continuing on the trial, you do cancel it before the trial period ends. Simple as that. And you can do that by literally just going over to accounts and hitting manage subscription. Again, we want you to use this tool if you are actually making money by using this tool. Otherwise, it's probably not a good thing to subscribe. But you're going to be able to see these advanced insights that normally institutions would be able to see and not retail users, but you will be able to see those same insights as a retail user, as an investor, for just being a part of the pro plan. Now, again, next tool I use is DeFi Llama. We spoke a little bit about this already, but the next thing that I look for on DeFi Llama, other than the yields, is just overall DeFi pulse, like what's going on in DeFi. We can see TVL, growth of DeFi over time. We can see specific protocols. This is also very useful for if you want to look at a specific protocol. Let's say we use Aave and we want to go to their website. We can search up Aave and just go over here to website. That way we know that we're going to the legit Aave website, basically. We can also see protocol health, like protocols growing over time, how their tokens are performing, specific events that happened. You could see in DeFi, we have negative 20% on Lido, negative 16% on Eigenlayer, negative 10% on Athena. Basically, all these top protocols are bleeding recently, simply because, of course, well, DeFi has been going down because the overall crypto market has been crashing. We were previously at highs of 110, even, $136 billion billion at one point. Now we're down to $93 billion. That doesn't necessarily mean that DeFi is dying, because there are more tokens coming into DeFi, but that actually just means that the overall crypto market is going down, which is causing the TV of DeFi to decline. Now, DeFi Llama really does have a lot of different features. You could see information about different chains. You could see information about specific airdrops, and even there's an option where you can paste in your wallet address and see potential airdrops for your wallet that you have not quite claimed. And one of the best parts about DeFi Llama is their swap feature. You can go over to swap.defillama.com. They also have DeFi Llama swap right over here, and they will make sure you get the best outcome out of your trade. So if you say, hey, I got 10 Ethereum I want to sell for some USDC, they're not going to go analyze a bunch of individual decentralized exchanges. They're going to analyze the aggregators that analyze a bunch of individual decentralized exchanges. So it's going to make sure that they get the best route by analyzing aggregators. They call themselves the aggregator of the aggregators. So you can see this 10 Ethereum trade right here is going to be 18,289 Ethereum. And that's basically the equivalent of what Ethereum is currently worth, essentially. So I'm essentially paying $0 in fees right here just by using this aggregator. And that's because there's so many liquidity pools out there for stuff like Ethereum to USDC. Some of them are going to have price impact, basically. And realistically, there's some form of arbitrage here that's keeping the price in check. Now, when do I use Crystal? I use Crystal when I'm tracking Radium liquidity pools in specific. Crystal is very similar to Metrix Finance when it comes to tracking. They did a great job over here. But with that being said, I strictly use it for tracking because I don't find the strategies or the hot pools or any of this stuff really useful. I find it has a better experience on Metrix Finance. And that's just because that's how we built it, basically. We built it so you can have a great experience over on Metrix Finance for finding pools and stuff like that. And when it comes to tracking, you're also going to see more data on Metrix Finance. You're going to see more advanced divergence loss analytics. You're going to see more charts and just overall position health. But this is great for just viewing profit loss, how much I'm profiting compared to holding the market, my APR, return on investment, all those good details. Now, one thing that I am noticing right now is it is glitching out and saying that I have an $18,000 profit when that's not actually the case. It says I have $37,000 in liquidity. So I'm not sure what's going on there. I haven't really seen this issue before, but when I want to see general information about my liquidity pools on Radium, I just pull it up over here on Crystal. And truly, they do have a great tool, especially if you are looking to just be on a free plan. And Crystal makes their money other ways, right? So they'll have capital management features right now and creating positions basically over here, which they just charge a small and really reasonable fee for. Whereas Metrix Finance doesn't do any of that, but it will provide you with more advanced analytics. It's just a monthly recurring model as opposed to charging you based on how much money you actually have. So again, those are the 3 DeFi softwares I use. If you guys have any questions on them and when you might want to use one over the other, feel free to let me know down below in the comment section. I'd be happy to make another video around it. And also let me know what type of content you guys want to see on the channel. Drop a like, subscribe, notifications turn on, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace out.